Hey everyone, friends, this is Mozart. So, congratulations to all on the new Adagio for Bitcoin. I've been waiting for this event for quite a while. I mean, I've written a lot about it, that we will hit a new high. The targets remain the same. This block, I've also mentioned it in many of my recent videos. Well, conditionally, it can be shifted a bit to $80,000 to $85,000. Those remain the targets for Bitcoin. Of course, this is because Trump has essentially already won the elections. Why do I say essentially? Because even the New York Times, which is basically a Democratic newspaper, even it gives Trump over a 95% chance of winning. Considering that, in two key states, which have always been swing states, specifically North Carolina and Georgia, Trump has already won. Trump will likely win in Pennsylvania too, that's already clear. Most likely in Wisconsin as well. Well, maybe Michigan and Nevada are in question, possibly, but essentially, the main goal has always been to secure Pennsylvania. And whoever takes Pennsylvania wins. Well, and Georgia. If you remember, in 2020, for example, there were a lot of issues with Georgia, but Trump has already secured it. Moreover, the Senate has already achieved victory. Republicans have won in the Senate. They have already secured the Senate. It seems that the House of Representatives will also be in Republican hands. So, power will most likely almost completely shift under the control of the Republicans. Everything, from the president's chair to the House of Representatives and the Senate. Of course, the market reacted with a rise. Trump is very close to victory. Well, you can see the Senate, they have already secured 51 votes out of the 50 required. And they have reached 183 votes out of the 218 required in the House. The Democrats are significantly behind. Yes, it will probably be officially announced in December. Some final official results will be available in 3 weeks. But this will just be the announcement of the results. So, in fact, the fate is being decided today. And just a few minutes ago, 10 to 20 minutes ago, at 9 a.m., our voting concluded. The nationwide American voting has concluded, and yes, it turns out that Trump is currently winning, and he is likely to win. Even if pro-democratic newspapers like the New York Times are essentially giving him a near 100% victory. That's the first point. And that's probably the most important thing. Because of this, we will likely see the outcome above $80,000. That is, as I have predicted for the last 6 months, sharing analyses from Blastnode, including on-chain metrics. Altcoins. I think we will soon see a flow of money from Bitcoin to altcoins when it reaches its high and starts to redistribute there, based on the latest longs. That is Solana. Well, everything went well with it. Yesterday's long was closed at 100% profit. It was closed with a huge margin in profit. 175 was the last there. It could have been taken higher. Well, it's clear that it could have been. Who would have known, right, what the voting results would be? That is, I took a conservative approach, and yet, it's not a bad profit. I'm happy with Poland, as I managed to catch the very bottom. It would be perfect to just graze it and bounce off. It almost worked with Bitcoin. That would have been good too. It almost worked out perfectly. Well, 66 to 600 I was thinking of placing it. Somehow leave it, or place it. Alright, I'll move it, just in case. Right at the gap closure. That gap never got fully closed. It was closed on Binance. On CME it was closed, and here's the take. The only one I had would have been closed. And now, what's happening? On the daily chart, what's the next setup? Well, look. If today closes, I think it will be above the historical high. Above this mark. I want to see the volume. Even higher, at least twice, if not 2.5 times. But the day just started, so it's quite possible it will reach that. And will close above the $74,000 mark of this month's or 3 pivot. You could even try to trade for a continuation of the trend, somewhere right up there, closer to 80, with a stop just behind this entire candle. With a stop, a trigger stop based on the condition to cancel if it closes below this candle. You could try it if Trump wins today. Then most likely the candle will close like that or even higher, or we might get a small pullback here. To set a limit order somewhere around 74 with some change, and the stop just behind 2 candles. the take profit would correspondingly be set. So if we get a pullback here of about 8 or 9%, the take profit would be around $80,000. That's a short-term plan for Bitcoin, midterm as well. The goals don't change, they all remain the same. We can draw some interesting channels. This will lead us to the main white channel, and we can also draw a local green channel. Let's make it a local trend. We're breaking out of this channel, so effectively, I'll set the targets again properly at $80,000 to $85,000 as the nearest. The next possible targets could be at the intersection of channels in the all-time high zone, which is around $90,000 to $100,000. These are the targets I've set for the cycle a while back, and you know them. Plus, we have this thing, a stick, which also aligns with everything, and the diagonal resistance converges at this mark of $90,000 to $100,000. That's the example moving forward, and then total 3. Alts. Alts look strong. We're breaking through $620 billion for the umpteenth time. The first target remains the same, at $720 billion. This would just cover the drop in April when Iran first attacked Israel. Those rockets flew. The first ones, at least to that point. Only then can we think about what to do with alts. Until we hit the $720 billion mark, there's no need to think about anything. Just hold the long position. What's interesting, Ethereum is very weak in this cycle, very weak, because it's starting to be overshadowed by Solana as well. So far, it hasn't even broken out of its red channel, and that's one of the reasons I closed my last long position around zero. It doesn't have a trend, it's unclear, it doesn't want to go anywhere. If it breaks out of the channel, like around 3,000, I'll either buy it right away or after a retest. Well, we'll see, but for now, while it's in the channel, in the red downtrend, I don't want to get involved with it. It's also below the yearly moving average, even though it's above the 200-week one. This long, exhausting consolidation makes it better to forget about Ethereum for now. Solana looks much more energetic. Here's our entry point, which I gave at 141.2. It was provided back on June 14th. Right now, it's showing a plus 33%. Solana also looks good. It has an intermediate diagonal channel. We'll break through it like this, and the targets start from 240, which is in the zone of the historical maximum from 2021. How likely is this? If we take a correction from here, this would be the reversal of the entire correction, for example. Let's set that aside. This distance is indeed around $240 to $250 for Solana. That's where I plan to close out. In this zone, moving on to Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin's dominance is skyrocketing. Consequently, all the money is flowing into Bitcoin. I also wrote a big post about this, which, by the way, you all really liked. There it was. I wrote it on November 4th. I also wrote about when the money would flow from Bitcoin into altcoins. I recommend checking out that post. Very informative. The link to my Telegram channel is in the description of this video. By the way, all the signals are there. I only provide all these signals for long, short, Bitcoin, altcoins, and Solana in the Telegram channel. Here, I'm just throwing out some ideas. So, what can we look at? There are many intermediate levels here, but here's the main one. This is the main level where the price is heading. I'll set it at 400, roughly like this. So, we're coming. Right up to the highs, right to the highs, to the highs. In this zone, I expect a reversal of the combination. Around 61 to 64%. Maybe even a spike to 65. So, if Bitcoin goes up to 85 or 90 in an hour, it's quite likely it will come here, and then the distribution will start. We'll see. Or we could just hit the edge of this zone like this, and without entering it, start to drop, distributing money to the altcoins. That's regarding dominance. But here, it's a very long trend, historically long. I don't think there have been such long trends without significant corrections. I mean, even in this trend, was there at least one significant correction? In this trend? Well, at least one from September 2018 to April 2019. There weren't any here. Here we have a channel like this. You can draw it. It goes like this, and the price is just rubbing along in this channel. It's moving right in it. There was an attempt to break out of it in January 24th, to give up on the altcoin, but no, they held on to Bitcoin, and it just keeps moving in it. Here's the target, another upper boundary of the channel. Yeah, somewhere around 62%, 63% maybe, and from there down. There you go. So far, everything is positive and fits well with the forecasts I had made for myself earlier. The most important thing is that we broke through the ATH, breaking it on good volumes, with the corresponding sentiment, thanks to Trump's victory. So, with his inauguration in January, which is supposed to happen, it's quite likely that the market will perform very, very well, wonderfully. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, although, in principle, it's already likely, most likely, that Trump has won. Well, it's really very likely here. Still, the voting isn't completely finished. Well, I mean, the voting is done, but they haven't finished counting. But it seems that, yes, Trump has won. Pennsylvania, it looks like is all ready for Trump. How many votes are there? In Pennsylvania, 19 or 18, I can't remember. Just Pennsylvania alone will almost give him the win now. He needs 270. Well, if Arizona adds to that, for example, then the probability is very high. There you go, and I'll keep you updated. More new deals to come. In the general channel, in the public channel, I provide deals exclusively on Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. Ethereum will also join when it breaks out of its consolidation. It doesn't matter which way, long or short for now, it's Bitcoin and Solana. Mostly, we trade more deals in that. In the trading channel, there are memes and everything else. I think there will be an entry into the trading channel because volatility is coming. There will be growth, and it will make sense to trade. There haven't been any sets since March. Oh, I apologize, since February. There were no sets, but last results were good. We closed October with a nice profit. In principle, we can continue. That's it. Thank you all for your attention. This was Mozart. Congratulations to everyone on breaking through ATH. I hope it stays that way, that Trump wins and crypto continues to rise. That's it. Thank you all and goodbye.